Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of August 6th, 2020.
Gonna do something a little bit unusual this time. There's a new YouTube channel on Injustice Mobile Gaming called Scopos Gaming, and we have never before endorsed or publicized any other Injustice channel, but Scopos has been really helpful and active on the Injustice subreddit. So if his channel is anything like his posts, it should be pretty good. So we'll link that in the description and in the eye. Check it out.
Yeah, so there we go. The current character challenge is for Suicide Squad Harley Quinn. That is a 1-week repeat. There is no requirement at normal difficulty like the Suicide Squad challenges tend to have.
Right.
So there's only 9 fights for each letter at normal difficulty. And then it goes back to 12, 12, 12, 12, and 15. That was the right number of 12s, right?
Yes.
For Expert and Nightmare. There are also better prizes, like all Suicide Squad challenges tend to have. So it's a silver pack, a gear locker, and then a gold pack instead of bronze credits and then a silver pack.
Right.
And so the required characters at higher difficulties are Black Adam, Flash, and Raven, who are silver, bronze, and challenge gold, respectively, but doesn't really matter for this case because if you're doing it the efficient way, you're just resetting it normal anyways.
Right.
Her passive is It's What We Do, which is Harley has an extra trick in her bag o' tricks. If Suicide Squad Deadshot is on your team, Dynamite turns to C4. If you had a Suicide Squad The Joker on your team, the Joker picture brings him in for an attack. That's 1250 attack and 1450 health. Last available in June of 2019.
Okay, every time I see the word tricks, I hear Will Arnett's voice saying, It's not
an illusion, Michael.
Yeah, so she's got excellent high stats, and I think she's got the highest combined stats of any Harley Quinn. She's a great character to build a team around. Her special 2 is deadly on a Suicide Squad team.
Because especially with the ability with the Joker, how that actually works is the damage on that is based off of the Joker's special 2 damage.
Special 1? Oh yeah, special 2, you're right. Yeah. It looks like a special 1, but yeah. So we did a video on her last year. We'll link that. She's really good.
Yeah, and one of the things that's really cool about that, which we talk about more in the video, is that you can do a bunch of stuff to juice up the Joker special 2.
Yeah.
And essentially you can put a bunch of special boosting gear that boosts Harley Quinn's special, but you can spend it on the Joker, and it leaves a bunch of slots open for boosting the other aspects of Harley's gameplay.
Right.
Yeah.
So one thing, well, she's got a bunch of things that actually make her special, right? It's the ability to give her teammates power. The other Harley Quinns don't have that.
Yeah.
Her passive lets her do splash damage on her bomb if Suicide Squad Deadshot is on her team. That's what the C4 means. But the real kicker is that instead of doing team damage boost, what you do is when you hit the Joker card, Joker comes in, does a bunch of damage. So it's based on his damage stat. It's boosted by his passive, which is plus 10% per Suicide Squad teammate. And his gears, as long as they boost special 2, like you said, it will boost the amount of damage he does. So because of the way damage is calculated, it's always best to increase the crit chance on special 2. And when you take a look at the team, you'll see exactly what I mean. I mean, there's more than enough damage without boosting the special 2 to actually one-hit KO most opponents. But, boosting crit damage is just fun. And you can do it a bunch of different ways with gears on Joker. So the funny thing is, though, and I think I pointed this out in the video, is the animation when he comes in, it's his special 1. But it's actually Suicide Squad Harley Quinn special 2.
Yeah.
And his damage stat is actually the base damage. So it's not his, you know what I mean? It's not
his special damage stat,
right?
Purely,
right?
Yeah.
But it's totally affected by his special 2 modifiers, and it wasn't intuitively obvious, but with a little bit of playing around, we figured that out. And the other cool thing is, if you'll see on our wallpaper, I think it's still up, is the Joker with 0 time in the game and plenty of damage. Because the cool thing is, if you don't put him in first slot, where everybody in first slot always has time in the fight, at minimum 2 seconds, even if you tag him out immediately.
But the tag in doesn't count as, when you use a special 2, it doesn't count as tagging him in for any amount of time, but it does count as him doing the damage.
Right. So he gets credit for the damage. She gets credit for the knockout. So he'll do like a ton of damage, but she'll get all the knockouts.
Yeah, so he'll have like 100,000 damage and 0 knockouts, and she'll have like 0 damage and like 3 knockouts.
So definitely a very, very cool character to have. You really want to have her. Excellent in a Suicide Squad team build.
Mm-hmm. So there we go. This week's multiplayer reward is Ares, and his passive is To the Death, which is when Ares performs the God Smack special, it shocks opponents, causing them to lose the ability to block for a limited time. We should also mention, not explicitly in this, it makes it unblockable. The hit itself is also unblockable.
Yeah.
Last available in January of 2020. Stats are 1,200 attack and 900 health. And just, it looks like we're still following the MP reward cycle, with the new updated one with Tantu Totem, Claw of Horus, and Necron Scythe sort of just pinned in, right. At the beginning, I guess, even though I guess beginning is sort of arbitrary.
Right.
What's the beginning of the new update cycle?
Right. And so if the pattern holds, next week should be Master's Death card.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to ask that. Nobody's paying attention to what we say. We'll say it another time. Master's Death card probably next, and people will still be asking.
Like 95% chance, I'd say.
Yeah. And I should point out, last multiplayer season, we got to number 5 in a mad frenzy of playing. So, did you mention? I think his stats were really low. For a multiplayer reward, he's got low stats, but they're weighted towards the damage side, which we like. And he's had lots of breakthrough seasons, and he was one of the first 2 multiplayer exclusive, which is part of the reason why his stats are so low, because back then they weren't actually that low. They were pretty good then. And because he's been around for so long, he's had so many breakthroughs, E10 is very common. So they've made a minor adjustment in his passive since he started, because you're 100% right, it's unblockable.
Yeah.
But before, unblockable meant that it would just have, your blocking would have no effect.
Yeah.
And now it seems like that when you block, it, like it does whenever you block at other times, it greatly diminishes the chance of a critical hit. So that, whereas it used to be completely not survivable.
Now sometimes, or often, if they're actually blocking, doesn't crit. So
if you've got,
you still do leave a lot of damage on the table. It's just you don't leave nearly as much as you would if it was a true block, right?
Yep. And the second part of the passive makes him a perfect teammate for Batgirl. Because first she gives him a second bar of power if you've got a piece of gear with something else like Tantu Totem, right? So she gives him the bar of power so you can open up a slot for his another gear. And if his specialty doesn't knock someone out, she can tag in for an unblocked, Cloak of Destiny / League of Assassins Knives special one that does a ton of damage and splash damage. He used to be amazing and great for super fast multiplayer fights, but the main counter, which has become much more common, is a revive. So back in the day, I think there was maybe, if we don't count the low-level Solomon Grundys, there was one main revive from the Fourth World Gears. And, another tidbit of trivia for people who are playing more recently, it used to be you get the revive from 3 pieces, and you get the heal from 2 pieces, and they flipped it.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I think the way the heal worked, it used to be more powerful. Anyways, so but there's so many more common revive possibilities. Like there's the Blackest Night Hawkgirl team, there's Necron Scythe. So you're gonna be running into that trouble when your team is geared for one-hit knockouts, and you don't knock them out, and you don't get your power back. Then that means you have to split up the tag-in power gears, right? Like Master's Death Cart and Tantu Totem, and then it becomes an issue of, well, how do you manage it and swap it back? So it's still good, just not nearly as fast.
Yeah, it was a different time when he was initially introduced, and his kit is still really interesting, but it's not going to give you blistering fast fights like it used to.
Right. Oh, I guess the other counter is any entry hazards like Gaslight Batman, and every time I say Gaslight Batman, I wanted to say Gotham City Batman, because it was based on the comic. I think it was Gotham by Gaslight that was done by Mike Mignola. So that would prevent the Master's Death Card from giving power, or even Arkham Knight Harley Quinn, so you can't do a special 2 immediately. And we've done lots of variations of teams with him, with or without Batgirl, so we'll link to that in the playlist, also in the description and in the top right corner of the eye.
Sounds good. In the store, we have the Dawn of Justice Superman pack for $26.99 Canadian. Doesn't come with any power credits.
So that's really expensive.
Yeah, it's way more expensive than it normally is, because it normally comes with 100,000 power credits when it's this price. So it's probably what next week's challenge is. Doesn't unlock in the store. It's an extra crappy deal right now.
Yeah.
I would say if you were gonna buy one of these, you should wait until you either get 100,000 credits or it's cheaper.
Right.
So definitely right now is a pass.
Right.
We also have the tag team pack for also $26.99 Canadian, and that comes with Luchador Bane, Hawkgirl, and a new 52 Nightwing.
Yeah, I'm always surprised. I mean, this came up in our Q&A this week about sort of set teams, right? Ready-made teams, and this would be an example of that. I'm always surprised at how rarely we see Hawkgirl in multiplayer, because based on the number of passives and gears that trigger on tag-in, I would have expected way more team builds that exploit the being able to do more frequent ones when the cooldown clock is lower.
And to be fair, we don't use her that much at all either, though. So I guess that's maybe...
Yeah, not on our fastest team because we've got slots, but I mean, for all the different teams that aren't Flashpoint, that aren't the really fastest, that would be so much more fun.
Yeah, for sure. And in our Survivor, we have the Fourth World Gear set until the 12th of August, 2020. Phantom Zone is back for 2 weeks. Fight 62 is still broken.
Yeah, last weekend's breakthrough was, as expected, Joker, Nightwing, and Darkseid. So based on the schedule, this weekend's going to be Zod, Aquaman, and Shazam. And link in the description for the Injustice subreddit where Devlin16 goes through the complete breakthrough cycle.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to the current glitches, just remember that every working glitch is explained in a video that you can reach by clicking the eye in the top right corner of this video. Sorry, videos as part of a playlist.
Yeah.
So there'll be a list of videos. And we're Android only, so we only are able to confirm and test and show exact steps for Android glitches, but we will mention iOS glitches if we have them on good authority, which we are going to mention in just a second here with the challenge reset glitch.
Yeah. So we'll start by going over the significant not working glitches, because people tend to ask about things that they can't see because they're not sure if we're missing them or whether they just don't exist. So there's no glitch for power credits we're willing to endorse. We talk about this in way more detail. Previous P&Q and CNA and T, Season 6, Episode 9. Main point is that logging simultaneously into the same account on two different devices, too much risk for us of account suspension. Glitch for getting repeated past multiplayer season rewards not working. Getting multiplayer season rewards early is not working in a way that's exploitable. And there's no glitch to get through Phantom Zone quickly. Mm-hmm. Sort of half in, half out is the free energy without having to watch a video is gone because you can't watch a video for free energy anymore. So the glitch to exploit it is gone.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to working glitches. The glitch to let you play Phantom Zone repeatedly is still working. The challenge reset method that requires Google Play Cloud Save is also still working. That's confirmed on the current Suicide Squad Harley Quinn challenge. We mentioned them together because if you do one, you're doing both. You're resetting all of the sort of online progress that you've built up. So if you are doing either of them, make sure that you are willing to do both, because you don't want to reset. Challenge, I think, is a little bit harder to forget about, but it's easier to forget about the Phantom Zone, I think, if you're not doing it all in sort of one block.
Yeah.
And resetting when you're halfway through would really suck.
Yes.
And you'd be undoing a lot of sort of time and effort, especially because you often set up a team differently when you're trying to play Phantom Zone.
We've cut and pasted a comment from viewer Jonathan Yang on how to reset the challenge on an iOS device. Mm-hmm. Use at your own risk. Breakthrough glitch to let you play repeatedly, still working. Airplane mode / refund glitch, still working. Good for any packs with random drops, also known as loot boxes, and also last laugh tickets. We have not had any success doing it with the Phantom Zone because the Phantom Zone requires a internet connection. And no matter what it looks like, despite what all appearances, even if you think you're re-rolling the last crystal and getting something different, at least on Android, it's not changing what shows up in our collection. iOS users have reported that it does work for them.
Mm-hmm. Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited Survivor play and energy recharges. As always, return your countdown clock back to normal before you finish mucking around. Although, in the past, one of the main reasons we mentioned that was because of the discount gold pack, so I guess it's not quite as relevant anymore. But it's just good for when you're going online,
and
especially.
I think it screwed up people's appearance of Phantom Zone and maybe the challenges, too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true, yeah. And finally, in between the not working and working glitches, we have the promotion glitch, where you can promote characters that are still locked. Hasn't had the right conditions since update 2.14, so it's still not testable and still not usable. But we keep it in because we've never tested it and had it fail. It's just sort of the conditions have moved away from
so
usable.
It seems like never to be coming back.
Yeah, they don't really have pop-ups anymore in the same way.
Yeah. All right, so that was it for this week. We will end it as we like to do with a big thank you to our patrons.
And we're sort of obligated to do.
Are we? Yeah, I guess.
I think for most of them we're supposed to thank them. I think it's at least once a week though, isn't it?
Or thank them, but we put them in the credits that you're going to watch right now.
That's true. Either way, we like to thank them.
Yeah, we do. So that is. Consul Peasant and Edwoon at the top tier last word, Mohammed Albshaiti at the Your Message Here tier, Shawn, Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, Michael DeVries, Brandon C, Irvin Ruiz, who are all supporting us on the credit level, and Chris Wolff, Scarlet, Dani, Awesomegamer 241, and Pavu RS at the gratitude level.
There you go. Thanks so much for your support. Thanks so much to all of you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.